What's going on, everybody? It's Stas here. Welcome back to another video. So in today's video, we're going to be doing a market update as well as a trading update. We're going to be talking about Tesla, some other stocks that I traded, including UGAZ, DGAZ, and what I'm doing in terms of my PayPal position, as well as some other stocks that I'm keeping an eye on for this week and ending off October in 2018. So for those of you guys that are new to my channel, my name is Stas, and I make videos dealing with swing trading, day trading, long-term investing, and pretty much everything dealing with the stock market. So for those of you guys that want to learn more about that, feel free to drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe, and join our Discord group chat as well as our Facebook group, and follow me on Instagram as well as on Twitter, and especially get into that Discord group chat, guys. We're talking on a day-to-day basis in that group chat about stocks, trading, news, different tickers people are watching, networking with each other. And that's the best way you can get in contact with me personally and a bunch of other people in the group. And we have about 170 people in that group as of now, and people are getting more and more active, and it's getting bigger and bigger each day. So if you guys want to pitch into the community, feel free to get in there. All the links are down below in the description box. So before we do talk about Tesla and what I'm doing with UGAZ and DGAZ as well as PayPal and some other tickers that I'm watching, I want to talk about how the market ended up doing today. So we saw a massive sell-off early on in the day today in terms of the Dow Jones. The Dow Jones Industrial, this is the biggest index in terms of, price, right? And this one saw a very big drop from about 25,300 where it closed on Friday, I believe, or yesterday actually, and we saw a drop all the way to lows of about 24,768. So, nearly a 600-point drop early on in the day today in the Dow Jones. So it was very rough out there, guys, early on in the day, but then things slowly started to pick up. So if you were able to trade TVIX as a swing trade from yesterday, which goes up in price as the market goes down in price, you would have made an absolute killing because TVIX closed at about $41.50. It shot up all the way to $51. And I know a bunch of people in the Discord group chat and other people in the community have been trading TVIX today. So congrats if you made a ton of money there. But me personally, guys, I did not trade this one. And for those of you guys that did, again, very good job there on that trade. But from there, guys, we saw the markets slowly start to recover and reverse in price, and very nicely actually. From a low of about $600, we only closed the day at minus 125 in terms of the Dow Jones. And now if we look over here to the S&P 500, this is not very big of a loss at all as well. We sold off all the way to 26.91, which was a pretty decent drop of about like $60, $70 from yesterday's close. And then we ended up closing, down only $15, down 0.5%. So not too bad in terms of the S&P 500. And if we're looking at the NASDAQ, guys, it's down about $3, down about 0.04%. Nothing crazy in terms of the NASDAQ, but earlier today, we were down to about 69.45, so we were able to recover about 200 points from that low point early on in today. So, overall, guys, in terms of the markets, we saw a massive sell-off early on today, but the recovery in the three major markets has been very, very good. The Dow Jones recovering 500 points, the S&P recovering about 70, and this one recovering, nearly 200 points. This is a very good sign in the markets. But what I want to show you guys, and what you should keep an eye on in terms of the markets, before I talk about the individual stocks, is that we noticed that the Dow Jones especially is at a point of resistance here at the 180 SMA. So if we want to see any types of reversal patterns in terms of the overall markets, especially the Dow Jones, I want to see a break out of this 180 SMA on the 5-day, 5-minute chart. And if we're looking here on the 20-day, 1-hour chart, I would want to see a break out of this EMA line and especially the 50 SMA in terms of the Dow Jones. And how this correlates over to the S&P, guys, pretty much the same thing. Here we notice very strong resistance on the 50 SMA and the EMA line here. So ideally, a break upwards here would be a good move in terms of market recovery. But, again, guys, it's earnings season right now, and a lot of the market movement is going to be dictated by how companies report their earnings, especially these big tech stocks that are reporting their earnings, which have a heavy weight on the overall markets, over the next coming weeks. And I believe Tesla is actually reporting their earnings tomorrow, so I'm very excited to see what ends up going down there. So speaking of Tesla, guys, let's talk about that one first. So today, Tesla shot up 13%, right? As you guys saw in the title of today's video. And this is an absolutely ridiculous move in terms of Tesla. And for those of you guys that do not know why Tesla shot up 13% today, it is due to a short seller of Tesla, meaning a person that is going against Tesla's share price, thinking that it's going to go below where it is right now. They think it's going to go down in price from where it is right now, changed their opinion on Tesla and is going long on Tesla, meaning that they believe the share price of this particular stock is going to increase over the next couple of years in the future, right? And this is a very big sign in terms of, Tesla, and this sent the stock soaring today. A bunch of people saw this, obviously, and hopped onto the Tesla train, which is what increased the buying power for the stock, which is what ended up shooting the price up for Tesla. So very good situation here in terms of Tesla, guys, and on a technical, perspective, this one bounced right pretty much near the support level at about 250, and we were talking about the support level over the past couple of weeks, especially on Tesla, because this has been a support level for the past couple of weeks, and it's bounced a little bit closer to that at about $260. So this area of 240 to 260 has been an area of support, and if we look over here, guys, a couple of months back, it bounced at the same price where it ended up bouncing today, right at about 250, 245, that same area of price. So Tesla, guys, on a technical perspective, was able to play out very nicely on the bounce at the support level, and now we're seeing it trending above the 180 SMA, which has been a resistance point in the past. So like I said, guys, Tesla is reporting their earnings, right? So it's going to be very, you got to be very careful in terms of what they end up reporting. And, in my personal opinion, guys, whether or not Tesla reports a good earnings report or not, I do believe Tesla stock will end up pulling back. And, the key here, guys, is that if it's able to pull back and hold above the 180 SMA, bounce there and slowly start to push up, and especially if their earnings report is good, I believe this will be a good, entry point for Tesla for a swing trade, right? And, the Model 3 is going to be very huge for Tesla. This cheaper, more affordable car to the average consumer is going to be a big seller, and that's also a point touched upon by this, by that short seller that turned into a long, Tesla shareholder, right? So, that is something very big in terms of Tesla, and I do believe it's going to be a catalyst that's going to push up the stock over the next couple of months. So that's what I think in terms of Tesla, guys. A little pullback, bounce on the 180 SMA, that would be a very good sign that Tesla is going to maintain this trend, especially if they report a very strong earnings report, which I do believe is in store for Tesla. So now to talk about what trades I personally made today. Now that I just talked about Tesla, I personally did not trade Tesla today. Congrats to everybody out there that made a good amount of money on Tesla today. Very good play. But I personally traded UGAZ today. Right, I added a little bit more money into my PayPal position because it ended up playing out exactly how I wanted it to play, which was a little pullback, a little hold on the indicator, and that's what I wanted to see before adding more money. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about DGAZ and some other stocks that I'm watching. So in terms of my UGAZ trade, guys, I got in yesterday. For those of you all that recall, I got into this trade due to it being around the $80 support level. So So I got in here yesterday at about $82, I believe, held through this dip here at about $80, didn't cut losses. I held overnight, and then we see the big share appreciation, especially pre-market hours, and this gave me the idea that natural gas and UGAS are slowly starting to reverse. The market opened up at about $84. I ended up taking a little bit of profits off the board. It was about $200 profit at about $86, and I was talking about this in the Discord group chat as well. And then, ended up completely closing out my position here at about $87 as the stock started to flatlining. We can see that here, guys. It topped off here at about $88-ish, pulled back, held above the 50 SMA very nicely, so I ended up not taking the more profits there. I wanted to see if it was going to break above this resistance point here that I just drew out at about $88. We failed to do so, pulled back. It remained a little flatlined here, so I ended up taking the rest of my profits here on UGAS. And how this correlates over to natural gas, guys, and why I actually ended up taking a small position in DGAS is we see here on the 20-day 1-hour chart that there's a strong resistance point under the 180 SMA, right? And I pretty much profited on UGAS from here at about 314 in terms of what natural gas's price was, up to about like 321, something like that, right? And then I ended up taking a position in DGAS as I saw a very strong consolidation and rejection under this 180 SMA on the 20-day 1-hour chart. So how that correlates over here to DGAS, and I ended up taking an initial position in DGAS at about $14.07. And we can see here, if I go on the 1-day, 1 minute, I'll show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. So as we saw the huge share appreciation in UGAS, we obviously know that natural gas was spiking up as well, and that was sending down DGAS. And we saw the bottom out at about $13.86. The reversal pattern here, right? And this is actually where I ended up getting in. I took a very small initial position at about $14.07, right around here. It broke above the 180 SMA. I ended up taking another little position at about $14, and I believe it was like 25 cents. I believe right there, bringing up my cost average to around $14.17, I believe, as of right now. And then I ended up holding those shares for the rest of the day. And so why I'm actually holding DGAS overnight, and I talked about this about 1-2 minutes ago, is because natural gas is holding below the 180 SMA. And this is signifying to me and signaling to me that natural gas is continuing this little sell-off of the price. And we saw a couple analysts come out saying that they are bearish over the next couple of days, or the next 2 weeks, I believe it was, to be exact, on natural gas due to their inventory levels. I believe there was an oversupply of natural gas. Don't quote me on that, but I believe that is what is, causing these analysts to be bearish on natural gas. But we're noticing that that's exactly what's been happening. Natural gas has been making lower highs. It topped off here at 333. The next high was at about 325. The next high was at about 324. And now we're seeing some, strong resistance at about 322. So, in a nutshell, that is why I ended up taking a DGAS position, and I'm swinging it overnight. So as of now, guys, I'm up very small amount of my position, like a very minuscule amount, right, on this DGAS position. And I'm still holding it, again, due to the consolidation here, due to the pullback that we're seeing, and I do believe it does offer a margin of about 8 to 10%, potential for profit from where it is right now. So that's what I'm doing in terms of the UGAS and DGAS combo, guys. I pretty much hit my profit for the day on the UGAS trade, and I do believe the DGAS play right now should play out if, natural gas is able to get rejected by that 180 SMA. So, what else are we going to talk about? Okay, PayPal, ticker symbol PYPL. I ended up adding more money into PayPal early on today, and it ended up playing out very nicely. Like I said to you guys, and this uptrend pattern right now is absolutely beautiful. We're noticing it's taking the corrections, bouncing on the 50 SMA very nicely if we're looking at this 20-day 1-hour chart, pushing up higher highs, correction very nicely, pushing up higher high, correction very nicely. So as of now, guys, I've taken 3 separate positions in PayPal. Like I always say, I'm scaling into these positions, guys. I always do this very small amounts at a time and putting more money money in as the stock continues to uptrend in price, or if you see a pullback opportunity. So where I took a position today, guys, was early on as I saw this pullback opportunity. I want to show you guys very closely so you guys get to see this. So I got in initially on this day, I believe, at about $83. Took another position at about $85 here, and then I told you guys in that video what I was waiting for was a pullback in PayPal before taking another position. And what did we see, guys? A big sell-off in the market today. We shot PayPal down to about $83, right, a little bit lower than my cost basis in terms of this position. And then I slowly started to see early on in today's market that, you know, PayPal wasn't really shooting all the way down in price due to this massive sell-off that we had. It was actually a better player today, or a better play today, although the markets were down, right? So this means that PayPal is actually a very strong stock right now. So we saw early on it was consolidating, holding above the EMA line, pushing up, making higher highs. Then eventually, as it broke above the 180 SMA, we saw the pullback here, the hold above the EMA as well, right? I ended up taking a position here, another position in PayPal, right? And my cost basis right now is at about $84-ish, I believe, and 50 cents. Very strong cost basis right now. Like I said, I took 3 different positions in PayPal, and now we're noticing, guys, the whole day, pretty much it's been shooting up in price, uptrending in price, riding that EMA line very nicely, and now I'm up a sizable amount on my position. Not too crazy, but from the cost basis of about $84.58, let's say, for this example, I'm up about 4% on my position right now in PayPal. So that is very nice in terms of my longer term swing trade play, and I'm going to be holding this one for a month or two depending on, you know, how the price and, you know, the price action, the technicals are looking. But for now, guys, I plan on holding PayPal. So that is what I did today in terms of trading. Some other high flyers that we saw today and have been absolutely killers over the past couple of days has been Drip. Drip is one that a bunch of people in the group chat have been trading. I personally did not trade Drip. I was in it a couple of days ago, actually, for a very I was planning on playing it as a day trade. I ended up cutting my losses on Drip that particular day. I forget which day it was. It might have been this day, actually. I ended up taking a position here or something, ended up selling it off here, ended up taking a little loss. So Drip has been killing it over the past couple of days, mostly because crude oil has been taking a beating, guys. Look at this chart on the 184-hour chart, guys. It topped off at $67 about literally 3 weeks ago, and now it's all the way down to $66. That's literally a $10 drop in the price of crude oil, down about 14%. So, you know, in a nutshell, guys, that is what sent XOP down in price, which is what Gush and Drip trade based upon, right? Meaning whenever this is going down, Drip's going up. Whenever this is going up, Gush is going up as well. But, you know, crude oil is what sent down XOP, which is what sent up Drip. So keep an eye out on Drip, guys. You know, over the next couple of days, this could be a good day trade, especially with /CL being as volatile as it has been. And, you know, keeping an eye on the reversal of this as well to get into Gush is also a very good idea as well, in my personal opinion, because once this reverses, guys, you know, Gush is going to end up being a massively, you know, high profit potential swing trade due to it being at $25 right now. And, you know, the last time it hit this low, guys, it was able to reverse back up to $56 or $46, which is pretty much double the price of where it's at. So some other ones that have been on my radar very quickly before I end this video have been Apple, Netflix, and I've been looking at Amazon and Google as potential earnings plays because these have been selling off at massive rates. If we look at Amazon very quickly, guys, this one's down to $1,700 from the top of about $2,000. So these could be potential earnings plays if they are able to report strong earnings with strong outlook and strong, you know, growth factors. I believe that Amazon is going to be able to reverse, as well as Google. So I'm going to be sitting on a decent amount of cash for these two big companies' earnings reports and seeing what the guidance is looking like, the outlook, and what we're going to be expecting in terms of numbers from these companies over the next quarter and the next year. So I'm going to like to see that. And, Google is down not as much as Amazon. This one's down about 14% from the peak compared to Amazon's, what was it, like 17%? My mind is jumbled right now. Yeah, about 17%, right? So these do offer a nice margin of profit for swing plays, right? So Google, guys, Amazon, and Facebook's going to report earnings very soon too, but Facebook's a longer term investment for me. So I'm not too sure if I'm going to be swinging that one. It's going to depend on what the numbers and the outlooks are looking like, but I'm mostly focusing on adding more into my long term investment account in terms of Facebook. I might swing it in my swing account. I'm not too sure quite yet, but I'm more interested in swinging Google and Amazon for sure, as well as Apple. So in terms of technicals, guys, Apple has been at a consolidation, horizontal trading pattern over the past couple of weeks. We notice it's been going between, let's say, this is a new support level at about 215. So let's say it's been going from 215 up to about 222 over the past couple of trading days, right? And we notice that it's been trading horizontally there, 215, 222, 215, 222. So now it's at the 222 resistance point again. So what I'm waiting for, guys, and looking at in terms of Apple is whether or not it's going to break out of this, resistance point and continue the uptrending pattern, which could mean that Apple could end up pushing up to new highs. This could just be a flat out point, a consolidation point before Apple is looking to, continue to push up. Because if we look at the historical chart in terms of Apple, let's just look at the 1 year, 1 day chart. We notice it, pushes up, makes higher highs, right? Has healthy pullbacks, consolidates for a couple of, weeks, maybe a month or two, then pushes up again, right? We notice here after the sell-off, it shot up again, consolidated for a couple of, weeks, months, shot up again, right? Consolidated for a little bit, shot up again. So this could just be a new consolidation point before Apple pushes up. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on whether or not Apple's going to break out of the 22 or 222 resistance point, meaning that it could potentially be a nice swing trade up to 233 and above, or if it pulls back, guys, and it ends up holding above 215, it could be a nice, just a horizontal trade from about 215 back up to 222, which does offer a decent amount of profit. So to finish off the video, guys, we're going to talk about Netflix very, very quickly, and this one is at a resistance point, or it bounced on the support point today at about 315 early on, shot up all the way to 335. So what I want to see, guys, in terms of potentially taking a swing position in Netflix, ticker symbol NFLX, is to see whether it breaks above the 50 SMA and then the 180 SMA, and from there it will have a nice profit margin of about 12 to 15%. So I'm going to set an alert here, guys, for Netflix at about $340. Let's see if it's able to break out of this 50 SMA, which is acting as a resistance point right now in terms of Netflix. So let's create that very quickly. Perfect. So tomorrow, if it's able to break out of there, I'm going to be very interested to see where Netflix is moving. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to drop a like, leave a comment, subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and follow me on Twitter, and join our Discord group as well as our Facebook group. All of those are linked down below in the description box. And make sure you do your own research, guys, before you invest or trade any stocks. This is a vital thing for your success in the long term. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Let's make some money today. Peace.